Okay, everybody, I have a little secret that I need to let you all in on. Now, you know that I am all about feeling good, staying energized, and keeping my mind sharp so I can go out there and live my own fearless life and create my life by design while being able to meet and serve others. So, I have found something that helps me to do that amongst the chaos of holding it all, right? If you're anything like me, you are in a transition period. Maybe you're moving from one career to another. Maybe you're building your own business. Maybe you have a family. Maybe you are juggling multiple hats all at the same time. And whilst we know that we have to support our mind, body, soul, our nervous system with the right habits, standards, routines, to help us feel our best, sometimes we just need something a little bit extra to help fill those gaps in the chaos of life, right? Well, I have found something that does all of that and more, and it's called Happy Juice by Amar, the mental wellness company. It is a total game changer. Now, I have to admit that when I first heard about Happy Juice, I was very skeptical and I really didn't think that it was going to live up to the hype that I had heard all about it. Now, I have to tell you that I am a changed woman. I have been completely, my mindset about this has been completely changed. I've been using Happy Juice now, drinking Happy Juice now for about 3 months, and honestly, the results speak for themselves. So what is it? Well, basically, Happy Juice is a delicious drink that is packed with science-backed nutrients that support your gut-brain connection. Because when your gut is happy, your mind follows. So what it does is it helps boost your mood, sharpen your mental clarity, and give you sustained energy without the jitters or crash of something like coffee. Plus, it also is going to help you manage your stress, improve your motivation, and support your overall mental well-being naturally. There are no synthetic ingredients inside this drink, which is something that is really important to me. I have personally been loving how much more focused, balanced, and energized I feel throughout the day, especially juggling a business, 2 kids, Evie starting school, juggling multiple rehearsals for my creative endeavors and pursuits that I'm in, as well as recording the podcast. So I have really, really loved how this drink, this really simple tool in my toolkit, has been helping me to fill the gaps and support me as I go out there and create this incredible dream life that I am chasing. So if you want to experience it for yourself, head over to the show notes. There is a link if you are overseas, say in the USA, and there is a link if you are here in Australia, New Zealand. Go and grab yourself some Happy Juice today. You will get $10 off using my link down in the show notes. So cheers to feeling amazing inside and out. Are you ready to find your voice, fulfill your purpose, build unstoppable confidence? And are you ready to learn how to trust, accept, and love yourself enough to do the work to create what you want in life? Oh, and do you want to learn how to do it without burning yourself out, sacrificing what matters most, or compromising on your values? Then you're in the right place. I'm your host, Crystal Stanton, a certified coach, human design enthusiast, entrepreneur, and podcast host on a mission to guide women into their true, authentic success, to help them recognize their power and to step out from the shadows and into the woman they were always meant to be. Around here, we don't do gray, unaligned versions of our life. We don't settle for what we should be happy with. Around here, we do big, bold, courageous, fulfilled, rich lives, and we do it in an aligned, nourished, and truly authentic way. If that sounds like the life you want, then stick around and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you never miss an episode. Hello, welcome to another episode of Fearless. Let's dive in because today's episode again is something I am recording in response to something that happened in my world this morning. Yay, manifesting generator. Following my design. So this morning I was on a call with a PR team. So I've been investigating, working with the PR team, and I was on a call with them, talking to them about, what I do, what my mission is, what my message is. And we were talking all things, radical self-love, which is really what I feel like I'm coming into. It is radical self-love. I feel like everyone, self-love has become such a throwaway word, but the importance of it has been lost, because when we're talking about radical self-love, we're not just talking about feeling good, and we're not just talking about being nice to ourselves, and we're not just talking about yes, I have a pamper session and that sort of basic self-care stuff. It's so much deeper than that. We're actually talking about your worth and your esteem, your self-worth and your self-esteem, how much you value your worth as a being that exists in the world, and how much you value your skills and capabilities. So that's what I mean when I'm talking about this concept of, radical self-love. I'm really talking about, do you truly and deeply love, trust, and accept yourself unconditionally? Because love is unconditional. If there are conditions in a relationship you have with someone that is termed a loving relationship, it's not love, because love is unconditional. And to be honest, when I reflect on my own relationship with myself and the relationship with self that I see in others, it's so freaking conditional. It's so conditional. Whether you love yourself is so conditioned upon outside external things. If we be really, really honest with ourselves, which is a key concept of self-love, radical self-love, is actually being able to be honest with ourselves. When you think about it, how often do you say things like, oh, I'll love myself when I weigh X amount. I'll love myself when I've created this. I'll love myself when my business makes this much money. I'll love myself when this person loves me back. I'll love myself when blah, 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 bullshit, 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 everything outside of me. You need external things for you to love yourself. Now that is conditional love, and that is not self-love. So anyway, just a little pivot over there to this, this concept, this term I'm claiming and owning of radical self-love. That's what I'm here to help people do, is learn how to love themselves radically. Because let's be honest, the concept of real self-love, deep love, trust, and acceptance of yourself is pretty freaking radical. It's not something that's really, it's not something that we're taught. It's not something we grow up with. It's not something we're programmed with. It's not something that they really want us to have, because then you bring all of the power back to yourself. So it is pretty radical to fully love, trust, and accept yourself. And especially here in Australia, we've got this whole cultural context of tall poppy syndrome, and we don't really like people who are full of themselves, air quote. We don't really like people who love, trust, accept, and value themselves, because, I don't know, we get all bent out of shape about it. It's who do you think you are? You think you're better than me? I don't know. It's a whole cultural thing we have here in Australia. I don't know if that exists in other places, but that has been my experience of being an Australian. You're kind of looked down upon if you do really back yourself. It's just a thing. So it is pretty radical to practice self-love. And like I said, when I'm talking about self-love, I'm talking about truly loving, trusting, and accepting yourself, which, yes, that is about having compassion for yourself, right? That is, being kind to yourself, caring for yourself. But it's also, and this is where the radical part comes in, it's also being completely brutally honest with yourself about where you're at and what you are doing. It is about commitment, being committed to yourself. It is about loving yourself like your life depends on it, and being committed to that and proving that, which can be really freaking inconvenient. That's a whole nother podcast episode. But being committed to loving yourself can be really inconvenient. It's so much easier to just abandon yourself. and just not do the things you need to do to show that you love yourself, and not have the difficult conversations, and not discuss your new boundaries, and not navigate, if you're in relationship with other people, what that looks like, and now what your expectations are and what you require from people, like that's very inconvenient, hard stuff to do. Not hard, uncomfortable, not hard. It's uncomfortable stuff to do. But it's so important because that is actually self-love. Self-love isn't like, yes, I love myself, but then I let everybody walk all over me, or I don't ask for what I need, or I abandon myself all the time, or I say I'm going to do something for myself and I'm not. So self-integrity is a big piece of radical self-love, and also responsibility, taking responsibility. Now, I had to do this yesterday because, I had this realization. And for a long time, I had been pointing the finger out away from me about like, oh, well, I have to put my business last and put my business down all the time because I'm a mom and a wife and this and that. And, our schedule changes and I just can't do it. So I can't be, I can't always show up, blah, 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 right? Story, 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 story. Belief, 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 belief. But yesterday, I actually took responsibility for that. I was actually like, nobody else asks me to put my business down. Nobody asks me to put my business last. I make that choice. I am responsible for that. Are there circumstances that make it difficult sometimes to commit to my business and put my business first? Abso-freaking-lutely, but no one else is responsible for my business and my self-care but me. That's a yuck pill. I don't want to swallow that pill. I don't want to accept the truth of that, because then I can't blame other things out of my control, right? I can't blame other people. I can't blame circumstances of my time, my energy, my money. I'm like, fuck, all comes back to me. And this is what radical self-love is all about. So now that we've had that little journey, let's circle right back to the beginning of why we're here today. Because on that call that I was having with the PR team, they asked me what I do, and obviously I said, well, I'm a transformational and human design coach. And they had heard a little bit about human design, and which I think is part of the reason why we connected in the first place, because they are looking to work with people who have, a unique perspective or something, something less mainstream to offer, a bit of a point of difference. Not that I am in any way, shape, or form the only person doing human design. But anyway, the point is, we had a really good conversation about human design. And they asked me, well, how is human design related to self-esteem? What a great question. What a great question for me to respond to, which I did in the moment, but also my undefined head and Ajna were like, so then I went for a walk. I did give a response. We did talk about how it's tied into, trusting yourself and all of the things. And then I went for a walk. I do this amazing walk around a cliff here in Yeppoon on Fridays. And it dropped in. I was like, this is all the things that I want to share. I'm like, okay, I need to do a podcast episode on this because human design is self-love. That's what it is, honestly. Running your human design experiment, learning about your human design, experimenting with your human design, deconditioning from how you've been programmed, and relearning how to follow your design, that is self-love. It is the framework for achieving self-love, worth, and self-esteem. It honestly is, because it is the best framework I have ever seen to help you love, trust, and accept yourself. Now, there are so many places in human design where we can do this. So I just really want to talk about this in the broader context. And if it resonates with you, if you want to learn more, I have ways for you to do that. I have some Human Design 101 episodes in the podcast. I have some free courses to learn more about your human design. You can get your free chart from my website. The links are all in the show notes. Or if you actually really want to go down this rabbit hole and not only, so many times with human design, people get their chart and they read it, and it's very overwhelming at the beginning because there's a lot, and so they kind of put it down. It's not something you can do quickly and just like, quickly read like a summary of one aspect and then go from there. So if you really want to start running your human design experiment with a community to support you, then the Fearless Collective, that's where you want to be. Links are all in the show notes. But let's just come back to, how is human design related to self-esteem? Now, if we think about what radical self-love is, it's loving, trusting, and accepting yourself unconditionally. If we think about why you don't love yourself, it's because you're always seeking validation or recognition or love from outside of yourself, right? You don't love who you are. And on top of that, you don't really know who you are, right? You don't really know who you are. You may have done a lot of work. You don't really know who you are. You know the version of you you've been programmed to be. So you love yourself based on what your family told you, based on what the media tells you, based on what society tells you, based on your experiences. You base your level of self-worth and self-esteem on all of those things. Usually, those things are not in alignment with who you truly are at an energetic frequency level. That's what human design gives you. It helps you to align with who you truly are. And the reason why you don't love, trust, and accept yourself is because you are constantly doing things that are out of alignment with who you are designed to be. Because you're doing things based on how you've been taught and programmed and told to do them. But for most of us, it's not actually how we're designed to do them, right? There'll be some overlaps, but this is why you always have this internal like, I don't know what it is, but I don't trust myself. I don't love myself, because you're at odds. You're fighting with yourself all the time. So then when you try and force yourself to work in a way you're not designed to work, and you don't have success, you blame yourself. You make it mean something about you, that you're not good enough, you're not worthy, you're not smart enough, you're not beautiful enough, you're not strong enough, you're all of the things, but it's not that at all. And so then your self-esteem and your self-worth and your self-love are completely eroded. You don't trust yourself because you don't understand, you don't have readily available to you an internal compass to guide you on making decisions that are right for you and that are in alignment with who you are at an energetic frequency level, right? Who you're designed to be. Human design gives you that. Human design teaches you how you are designed to make decisions, to communicate with the universe, receive information, and make decisions that you know are in alignment with you. And when you learn to trust your strategy and authority, you're actually learning to trust yourself, because you're making decisions, instead of making them fear-based decisions from up here in your logical, analytical mind, you're making decisions from your body, right? From your intuition, from your wisdom. And you can trust those decisions because you're using your internal compass and internal guidance system to make those decisions. So human design is going to help you to trust yourself. And the more you can make decisions from that place, the more you build this wealth of trust, self-trust, self-worth, self-acceptance, self-love, because you don't doubt yourself when you make decisions. You don't ignore your intuition and do what someone else tells you to do, right? You constantly show up for yourself, like, yeah, baby, you got this. I know that's the right decision. Or on the other way, it makes it much easier for you to be able to say no, because you know it's not the right decision for you. And when people push back, you're like, no, because you can trust yourself, because you know where that decision is coming from. It's not coming from your fear. It's coming from love. It's coming from truth. It's coming from intuition, body, wisdom. So human design is going to help you with that. And obviously it's going to help you accept yourself, because it's going to take you out of this cycle of being who you think you're supposed to be into actually being who you are, accepting yourself as you are unconditionally, flaws, shadows, and all, because human design isn't just like all the fun, nicey nice stuff or the powerful stuff. It also is going to tell you what shadows are going to come up for you. It's also going to tell you what patterns you're going to fall into, right? So you can fully accept that. You can be like, it's the bridge between who the fuck am I meant to be and, that's why I do that thing. And the more you can understand yourself and how you work, the less likely you are to fall into those cycles of negative self-talk and berating yourself and putting yourself down when you make a mistake. Because you can just be like, yeah, that's that part of my design coming in. That's okay, because I know I can do this instead, right? It just gives you such a clear framework for actually learning how to love, trust, and accept yourself. Now, if you don't know much about your human design, you want to just go and start by getting your chart free on my website. Go down to the show notes below for the link. Go and grab your chart. Put in your information. You need your name, your date of birth, the time you were born, and where you were born. Okay, so you need those pieces of information. Yes, you can discover your human design without your time of birth. Like, it's harder. It's a harder process. So if you can find out from someone or somewhere what time you were born, it's going to make it a lot easier, a lot smoother. But if you don't know your time of birth, you can sort of get an average time of when you think you might be, and then it's just about inputting it and reading it and seeing what resonates. Again, longer pathway, but it can be done. Get your chart. There's a few places I want you to start. I don't want you to look at the whole thing, because you're just like, what the hell? There's these lines and there's these circles and there's these colors and there's these numbers and there's these symbols. Like, what the hell is going on? And all of these things, what do they all mean? Don't do that. Don't do that. You're just going to have a look, first of all, at your type, your strategy, and your authority. Okay? You're going to start there. Then, if you really can, go to your profile. Okay, those 4 things. Those 4 things. Just start there. That's all you really need to get started. The rest is like just extra fun. Okay? And the thing about human design is it's an experiment. You're meant to live it. You're meant to sit with it, contemplate it, trial it. And you're sort of really meant to let it guide you. You're not really meant to go and just read through your whole thing and read all your gene keys and be like, okay, now put it all into action. Like, it's nope. No. Because human design does give you a roadmap for how to do, but really, human design is about how to be. Who are you here to be at an identity level, at an energetic level? And anyway, that's where we have to start. Who do I need to be? How do I be in alignment with that? What are the values that are in alignment with that? What are the beliefs that that person with that identity would have? And then we go up the scale from there. Then we go into, the skills and the things that we do and the environment that we want to create. Okay, but really we're taking a step back, because when you first start learning about your human design, and this is why it's so powerful for building that really strong foundation of radical self-love, self-worth, self-esteem, is because it helps you pull out the weeds. Pull out the weeds of other people's expectations, society's expectations, programming I've received, beliefs that aren't really mine, like ways of working that don't belong to me. And once you unpack all of those layers, all that's left is you. All that's left is you, and the beauty of you, and the depth of you, and the power of you. And you can't help but love that version of you. And then it gives you the framework for, how do I go out into the world as this most authentic version of myself and fucking kick ass. Basically. That's basically it. Okay. So, that's it. That is it for today. how human design is related to self-esteem, self-worth, self-love? It is. That's what human design is. It's a framework, a roadmap, a treasure map, and you are the treasure. You are the treasure. So, if you want to know more about your human design, show notes, get your chart. If you want to go deeper with that, I do offer one-on-one sessions around human design. Or come and join us inside the Fearless Collective, where we use this as one of our frameworks, as one of our roadmaps within coaching. So I use transformational coaching and human design within my coaching to help you learn how to love, trust, and accept yourself completely, so you can go out there, be the version of you that can do and have anything that your heart desires. All the things you ever dreamed of before you got told to be reasonable, and you got told to be sensible and logical and limit your expectations and all of those wonderful things that happen to us as we grow. This human design is really going to help you come back to that childlike quality of dreaming, of living from possibility instead of living from resignation of what is available to you. All right. Big love, everybody. I'll see you on the next episode. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I really hope you received exactly what you needed from it. I absolutely loved sharing it with you. I'd also love to know what you thought. So please leave a comment or a review for me to respond to, or just come over and say hi on my socials. If you'd love to be a guest on the show, or maybe you have a question or a topic that you'd like me to talk about, then please send me a message. I absolutely love to connect. And really, this podcast is all about you. And your success. So tell me what you need to hear more of. If you really enjoyed this episode, please give it a like, or even better, send it to someone you know to spread the love. Let's get this authentic success movement happening. Okay, that's it from me. Big love. Now go out there and be amazing.